Hello guys, this is Crazy Cute Lily from Imvu. Today I'm going to teach you how to do shading on a simple t-shirt. Now as you can see, I've already got a t-shirt all done up. It's got the wrinkles and stuff, just no shading at it. So what we're going to do first is I'm going to stick on the mesh layer to show me where I need to do my shading. Now when doing shading, it's important that we understand where it needs to go and what parts show and what parts don't show. As in, like, you need to know the sides of the shirt, which would be down this area between the hole there. That would be if you connected the back, and this would be like the armhole. So this would be a side, this would be a side. Of course, right here is the breast area. Generally with kids clothing, I do not play with that area because we don't really need highlights in that area for kids clothing because they don't have boobs. I like to put shading on the back side, but you gotta be careful when you're not too close to the edge because you don't want the line that goes down the back. You want it to be seamless. Okay, so let's get started. So first of all, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to create a new layer. So I'm going to go down to the lower right hand side of Photoshop. It's the flipped up page next to the garbage can. So I created a new layer. Just going to delete that one. And I'm going to make sure that my colors are on black and white. I'm going to get myself a fuzzy brush. Now you want a fuzzy brush because with a straight brush, you don't want your shading to be precise. You want a bit of a blur to it. So I'm going to make sure that it's on black. Just for purposes, I am going to rename this layer black layer. You don't have to do that, but I usually name my layers so I know what they are, and it makes it easier in the long run. Now I'm going to grab my brush, make sure it's a fuzzy. I don't want to be too big, so a 34 maybe a bit more, maybe a bit less. Now I'm just gonna eyeball this. Usually I have like a picture that I go from or something if I'm making something, but tonight, just for tutorial purposes, we are going to eyeball. So the brush is a little bit big, so I'm just gonna shrink it a few. Oh, if you didn't know, for Photoshop users, the two brackets right beside your P button, they will make a brush bigger or smaller just by pressing them one way or another. So just a quick tip there. Okay, so now I'm going to put, usually on the sides of the shirt there's shading, so I'm going to put some black lines. I'm making sure that I have my black layer selected a little bit over there. Now, don't worry about doing the other side. I'm going to show you why in a second here. So, I've got that. Let's see. Probably want a little bit more towards the tummy here. Now, you don't want to overdo it, but that looks about good. Okay, so next I'm going to Control J, which will copy my layer. Now I've got two of the same layer, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go Edit, Transform, Flip Horizontal. So that top layer that I just copied, I flipped to the horizontal. Now what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to click the image, then hold Shift and move it directly over until it lines up there. Now we've got two black areas over top of a purple thing. Now that doesn't look too good. So what we're going to do is we're going to merge the two layers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click the top layer and hold down Shift, and then it'll click both so that both are highlighted. Then go Control E. Now that's going to merge them together. So what I want to do now is go select, not select, hold on. Brain fart. Okay, so filter, blur, Gaussian blur. Now, depending on how much of a blur you want and how far you want this to go out on your shirt, I usually just go whatever looks really good to me. I don't want it too much. Well, let's go 9.0. Sounds good for right now. So now we're not done with this layer yet. It's still like really, really dark. That shouldn't be our shading. So what we're gonna do is go over to the different types you can have here, and I'm gonna go to a soft light. Now, I still don't like that, so I'm gonna play around here a bit till I find one that I like. You can just scroll through with your mouse. And it's usually a lot of playing around. Ugh. And you can see they change to different types here. We might go back to the soft light and actually turn it down a little. Yeah. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take the opacity down a bit, probably to 30%. So it's just a bit darker. You can see that it hasn't altered the color of the shirt too much. There we go. 42. Okay, 42%. Now we wanted a little bit of a white highlight too. So what we're going to do is create another layer on top of that. So with the page fold down there, we're going to switch this to our white brush. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get the paintbrush tool. Make sure it's your fuzzy brush. Now, for the edges here, like I said, you don't typically want them to touch, but with the white, it's okay as long as you put it right on the edge. So, what I'm going to do is just do a line on there. Now, for the top part here, I like to go over the wrinkles just a little bit over the wrinkles. Now I'm going to try and do the half. You might want to do it on a separate layer, which I think I'm going to do. So I'm going to edit, step back, and do the middle one all on its own separate layer. And I'm actually going to turn down the opacity of the brush too, because I think that's way too bright there. So now, there we go. And I'm just going to give the white layer in the middle. You don't have to be exact because you're just going to blur this anyways. So now we've got, this is going to be our side white. And this is our middle, so we don't have to do anything with that. Middle white. Okay. So with our side one, we're going to do exactly the same. Is we're going to create a new layer, or create another layer, copy of it. So Control J, and then we're going to do Edit, Transform, and Flip Horizontal. And then we're just going to move. Let's go Edit. Now I always want to click down on the image, then hold Shift, because that will allow you to move it directly over to the other side. So now we've got them both there, and we're going to merge the two layers. So we're going to click and hold Shift and merge them together. Now what we want to do is probably a soft light with these two, which is nice. I'm going to do a bit of a Gaussian blur again, so I'm going to go blur, Gaussian blur. Now you could always use the same that you just used, or put your own different layer in. It's up to you. And then I'm going to I actually want to move this layer under the black layer, just because it's going to filter out on its own. Now, what I do like to do is, with the white layers, I do like to smudge it out just a little bit. You can't really tell, but it looks a little bit different in the preview. Alright, so now, same with middle night white, we're going to filter, blur, Gaussian blur. And I want a big Gaussian blur on this. I want it to be really soft. So 14.1 sounds good to me. And then I'm going to soft light it, and I'm going to turn down the opacity. Just enough. So it's just barely showing there. I think I might do it with the backs as well. Turn down the opacity. So now we've got a shirt with some texture to it, some shading. I hope this helps you guys, and have a good night.